What's going on, guys? Anakin back again today, and we're taking a little bit of a detour from my usual movie reviews. Instead of doing my Thor: The Dark World review, I'm going to go into the future technically, and I'm going to go to the last movie before Infinity War, which is Black Panther. And oh my god, I cannot believe that this movie was as good as everybody was saying it was. I just got to the theater, and who cares if it's just like getting out of it, jitters, whatever. I think this movie is freaking amazing. I don't know if there was any better crew, better cast, or better director in particular that could have made this movie half as good as the movie that we got. I have no words for how good this movie is. This movie is definitely up there with one of the best origin stories, best best origin stories, best just solo movies in general. This is seriously, oh man. Okay, before, so you get it, I loved it, I don't care, I don't really care. It's Sunday, even the day I got to see this. People were posting spoiler reviews last week. So this is going to be a spoiler version of this review, and hopefully, if you've probably seen this, you've probably already seen Black Panther. So I'm going to go into full spoiler detail into this. And I gotta tell you, man, my favorite character throughout this entire movie was Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan really did truly redeem himself. Even though in Fantastic Four, he wasn't the problem in that movie. It was more or less studio and director and whatever. But he really showed in this movie. I was so mad that they killed him off, because he was really giving me a young Thor, Tom Hiddleston vibe of Loki. He was really giving me. And whenever I get that good a performance out of somebody in a movie, it always drives me in and always makes me want to see more of them. And his character was so great, but it really sucked that they killed him off, which throughout the movie I was like, no, don't kill him, please, please bring that fool back, please let him be the Loki of the Thor, make him be the Loki of the Black Panther trilogy. Oh dude, all that aside, this movie, so far, besides Guardians of the Galaxy, they have not done something this out there, or more or less this crazy and weird and unique. I think as far as uniqueness go, yeah, you have a talking tree and a raccoon that talks smack and trash everybody. Yeah, you can't get any weirder than that, but I think this comes in a close second, and I think this is definitely one of the most important movies that Marvel has put out. Not more or less for what it's done for black people all around the country, but for what it's done for, hopefully, what it's going to do for not just black people, for everybody around the world, to prove and to see everybody as equals, because this movie proved and showed that everyone deserves a movie. Everyone deserves to see themselves represented on screen. And that's the importance of what this movie is. Kind of like what Wonder Woman did last year. This movie has such a cultural importance, and that's something very, very special I'm not the right person to condemn that or to say that in the best way, especially with all the controversy that sparked up before this movie of people wanting to boycott this movie, trash the audience score ratings, all of that. All of it really doesn't matter when you take into account of how just good the film is, and that this movie is needed, this movie is deserved. I am so happy to call myself a fan, and to, obviously you can tell I am not black, but I can see and I know the cultural importance that this movie has. And not only to that, I am proud to say that I am a fan of Black Panther, and I love this movie. I'm proud to say that I read up on a bunch of Black Panther comics. I read Black Panther. I listened to comics explained about Black Panther to get myself fully invested in this character, and to see that all of it perfectly done on screen was amazing. One of my favorite so far, one of my favorite experiences I had, even with this movie before I even saw it, was at the school I go to. There's a kid. He is of the African American ethnicity, and he always would dog at me for not. Basically, whenever I would talk about my favorite superheroes, he would never say, you never represent, the black superheroes. You never talk about Luke Cage. You never talk about Black Panther. When in reality, I love all my superheroes, and Black Panther is a king. He is the king. He is the quintessential, just awesome character of, the most skilled fighter in all the Marvel Universe. And then you have Luke Cage, who has all, the swagger and everything. So, all that aside, he would always give me trash for it, right? And he went and saw this movie, or no, correct me, before he went and saw this movie, he went up to me and he asked me like, what's it like to go to a opening night screening of a movie, because he's never done that before, and let alone a superhero or a Marvel movie. And the fact to see him like get so excited to want to actually go see this movie, and it shows how big of a reach this movie has. And I'm so glad. And even the next day when he came to tell me that everything that I've been hearing from critics and just people who are fans of Black Panther is the exact same for people who are on the outside, and that it is an amazing movie. Like, it is such a perfect movie that is needed now, and I cannot emphasize how important this movie is. And I cannot thank Marvel for being so daring, for being so awesome, and Feige for saying even 4 years ago, and knowing how much this movie was needed, how important this movie was. Now, switching over from like the cultural and like all of that, this movie is a amazing comic book superhero movie, because if you take into account like all the fight scenes were awesome, all of the tech, the way they displayed Wakanda in this movie is absolutely insane. Because I have a picture of Wakanda in my mind, and it seems like they really took that out of my brain and they put it on the big screen, but they made it better. They made all of the suits have nanotech, so just like in the comic, like, but they made it so visually like amazing. And like whenever he absorbs kinetic energy, you see it's all purple. Because like a lot of people, like, I love my Black Panther, but I love him when he's all black. But then like I've always thought that the whole concept of the purple suit was awesome. So like whenever to see it all going around. But I do like his Civil War suit just a little bit better. I'm not like, I like the mask better, like, just saying. But still, amazing, awesome. And the way they use vibranium in this movie, the way Chadwick Boseman portrays himself as a king, how he knows he's not a noble king. He knows he's not worthy of the throne, but he's becoming that king. But yet, he still holds himself with a prowess, a swagger almost of like, I am the king, and you will respect me. And that even when he went and signed autographs at the premiere, that fool holding himself to the point where he didn't say a word, and he just signed and walked. And that man, that so great. The accents that he came up with in Civil War, perfectly distributed. I've always said that's my favorite movie accent ever. Like, period. Like, that is the quintessential awesome accent to have. And then browsing over this entire cast I haven't seen a cast like since Doctor Strange that was this good. But the thing is that this movie has so many other great actors in it. It like outs Doctor Strange, because you have Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Andy Serkis, oh man, Denai Guerrero from Walking Dead, who I love as Michonne. You have Forrest Whitaker. You have Daniel Kaluuya, I think that's how you say it, Sterling K. Brown. You have, oh man, you have Lupita Nyong'o. You have so many amazing, and that's not even half of them that I was able to remember on the top of my head. But you have so many amazing actors and actresses that play these roles to perfection, and it's like, it's so crazy how they were really being able to bring Wakanda to life, and so much color. I want to condemn everyone who worked on this movie, that was in props department, that was in props department, that was in costume design. Oh my god, you guys deserve awards. Like, you guys deserve all the credit, because this movie looked beautiful. As far as they treated the comic book material, I loved how they treated the heart-shaped herb, how they brought to life, brought the essence of what the Black Panther is, whether it's the Panther god, whether it's him being able to commune with the dead. So great, so perfectly executed. I could not have asked for a better. And as far as the whole plotline goes, I don't think that you could have chosen a better, like, him going after Claw, obviously for obvious reasons, because he's been a problem for Wakanda for over 30 years, and then Michael B. Jordan showing up as Killmonger and just wrecking through, and then just tearing through Wakanda. He's like, you had an Arrow season 3 moment where he straight up kills T'Challa and kicks him off and takes his place. Like, seriously, that whole like Warrior Falls scene with him and Killmonger, one of my favorite, now obviously gonna be one of my favorite like one-on-one character battles in all of MCU history, because I think Michael B. Jordan's performance carries that entire scene to make you feel the weight, to make you feel like that you're like, oh, I really hate you, but then I'm at the same time I'm like, oh, but like, you're a really good actor and you're pulling me in here, man. Like, so great. And the way that he just has to reclaim his throne back, so great, so great. I could not have asked for all of the anything better. All the crazy tech in this movie was great too. Whether it's the spears that can apparently take out tanks, whether it's Shuri driving her car but she's in her lab, like all the suits were great. Like every time Janai Gurira picked up a spear, you know it was going down. Even to the point where she threw a spear through a car and then it stabbed in the ground and it stopped the car. Like, just that sentence alone is amazing. Whether it's like Shuri's fistigons, that's not what they're called, that's from Runaways, but like still great. I cannot have asked for a better movie than this movie. I think this movie was awesome. I cannot wait to see. Hopefully this movie is going to crush at the box office, which I have no doubt on. The real question is, I'm curious to see if it's gonna hit like 150 to 180 or maybe even 200. If it did 200, that would be amazing. Now, one thing I was concerned about a little bit was like, dude, I really want the Soul Stone, man. I want the Soul Stone to be how he communes with the dead and the heart-shaped herb. No. We're like, what, 18 movies out? We still don't know where the Soul Stone is out of the entire Marvel Universe, which I hope we desperately find out soon. Hopefully in like the opening credits of Infinity War. But all in all, like, I am fully in love with this movie. I cannot believe like the cultural reach it's gonna have, and like hopefully the legs of the box office it has, and what this movie is gonna do. And like what I loved about this movie is that not only did it make an impact in our culture, in pop culture, in just regular African American culture, whether it's just for us as superhero and film fans, like what that did, but it had significance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like I think this is one of their, in a while, like just standalone stories that were good and held on for a while. Give us one of the best MCU villains again, like another great, amazing MCU villain, another great portrayal of a superhero by Chadwick Boseman. And I think that the cultural significance of this movie has no words and cannot be explained by me. Now, thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully have my Thor: The Dark World review up next week, and thank you so much for watching. This was a really good movie that I have spent about like 12 or 13 minutes talking about. I'll see you guys next time.